Testing, testing, testing. Ah! Can you hear it now? There's sound.
A little bit of delay.
Amazing.
Oh no.
Right now I have to figure out how to mute it. Hello, welcome.
Hey.
Hello. Can I file a bug report? Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
Hi, Chad.
So good.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, oh. Okay.
I'll shake my hands. Hi, I'm Kat. It's nice to meet you. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Lindsay.
Lindsay, nice to meet you. I'm Kat.
Kat, hi.
Hi,
I'm
Kat.
Kat.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So you guys drove down, huh?
Yeah.
From Seattle? How was the
Of
drive?
course, for the
Great.
Yeah? Cool?
uneventful.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Right. It just got really bright after we got here. It was really great.
Yeah, nice.
Brittany, nice to meet you. Hi,
Lindsay. Yeah.
Eli?
Yeah.
We're streaming now.
Oh, nice.
We're streaming for real.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
We figured it out. Yeah.
I don't know if we ever like talked at the conference.
I don't think
or
so.
had a chance to.
No.
Nice
Hi, Brittany.
to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Hi,
because
I'm
they're
Oh, yeah. I'm
Eli's
Chad.
parents.
Chad, nice to meet you. Brittany, oh, Chad. Sorry.
Like a Superman shirt.
Yeah, I know. I always.
Big news.
Did you hang out with us last month? I'm trying to remember.
No, I wasn't there. I had some aspirations, but I've been doing a lot of traveling. So.
Okay, cool. Where have you been traveling?
Well, I do the Voices of VR podcast, so I travel to like South by Southwest, and,
Yeah.
like Venice, immersive, and stuff. So,
Wow.
so I've been doing it for 12 years, and I've published like over 1,700 episodes. So
Nice.
it's got like 40 hours of stuff on it. So I was hoping to pop up, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't forget street, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
Thanks for hanging out with us
Yeah,
today.
excited to see you.
Awesome. And if you have not yet, if you're interested in entering our drawing for a free Cascadia JS ticket, tell you that.
Join the raffle.
There's a raffle. QR code it.
We are waiting for Graham, who has the pizza, and we're gonna, just hang out and chill in the meantime.
I feel a little silly. I was looking at that photo. I was like, huh, where's that?
It's Seattle.
Is it Austin?
Yeah.
Streaming going okay? Everything?
Yeah.
Is it live?
Yeah, it is live. And it seems like it's working. So
Yeah.
exciting.
We had the echo machine going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
That was
confirmed
great.
that there is sound, which is a good.
Nice. I brought my emergency streaming kit, but I figured we probably wouldn't need it.
Amazing.
And this is like, we're like in a broadcast studio right now, so.
Yeah.
I got it sorted, but.
Yeah, I brought I didn't realize that this was set up. Last time I was here, this was like all turned and stuff. So I was like, oh, I bought a projector in case I needed it. And that was but I have a projector. So.
Sure.
Yeah, the Code TV guest, and it's learned something new.
Okay. All right.
Hey, good to see you. What are you doing?
Wow.
Oh, we drove down. Turns out you can just drive down. You can just drive down here. This is great. This is my life. Oh, it's wonderful to finally meet you. I'm out.
Come on, grab one of these seats here. Yeah, I'm visiting from Seattle, but oh my gosh, somebody in Seattle!
Hey.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm working with a
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about
someone
it.
who wants to kind of
I'm doing this presentation at
creating a trust
Cascadia.
land.
That's awesome.
If you have any feedback.
Yeah, I think I might.
Let me know.
Just in case.
Just versus the room, that blue sky.
Hey, no. Yeah, I recognize you.
You guys. Yeah. That's so awesome. So cool. Yeah. Well,
Just finished my very conference talk, so I'm a little bit gassed, even like the adrenaline. It's great. I love Write the Docs. It's a really good
Oh, is that
community.
what you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that was happening this
It's
year.
like 10 blocks away.
I know.
It's like Walmart neighborhood.
I know. I always think that. I'm like, it's just right here.
yeah, he's been
Is
like.
Write the Docs related to the software Read the Docs?
It is
All
not.
Okay. Yeah, those are unrelated. It's pretty good. Okay. Are you Will?
I am Will.
I saw that you're on the sheet of my friends. Like,
Thanks for
what's that?
Which guy?
Yeah.
It's I mean, it's just a different client, different website, does the same stuff.
Is it like a bunch of machines? Or is it just?
Oh, the person who developed my meeting today actually lives in Portland. It's just got like slightly different specs. Log in, good to go off instead of password.
I'm that kind of
Small.
Everyone's too cool for school.
There's no migration meeting. It's just like logging into the other ATProto.
I love it. It's like
Try it out.
Okay, so you need to move
No, I host all my data online.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then I love
Yeah, that's been a lot of.
and then I heard what is it? And they're like, well,
WordPress. So I know there's projects where you can kind of like profile your WordPress post.
What are things I love to do?
But in terms of like running the server, it's great.
I have my presentation eyebrows. Give me a break. Oh my god.
Everybody here.
It's I lived in one of those cool, like, what's it called now? We moved to a local like work stuff.
If you're interested, there is pizza. There is one meat pizza, one vegetarian pizza, and one vegan pizza.
Might as well do it there instead of.
I can very well turn this down.
So like that one along it's like not much
It forced me to walk down.
Nothing's critical.
My preview matches are still here on display. And I was looking for the GitHub repository. Now it's like I can't repository. Making sure I can make sure it's
Like the SAS So I open that and then
not really good.
Yeah, I've been working on motivation on my Yeah, you do now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
He's
he's
gonna come with his
here.
sunglasses.
He just like drops them here. That would be
There's gonna be like, oh, I need
Okay, yeah, to answer your question, yes. Right, that's what your question was, right?
I hooked up to this microphone, but I think it's you just leave it here and it works pretty well.
Are we streaming already?
Yes, we are.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Does anybody know what's happening in the chat?
I don't know. They're probably just here.
Are we about to start?
Yes.
Okay.
7 people.
Hats, not beans.
Okay.
I'd like to learn more.
It's kind of
Dating, validated. I wore when I got married, I wore I felt very like
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Graham.
Hi. Sorry, I just clapped right into the lab. Sorry for the stream watchers. Thank you guys so much for coming to our second meetup. This is great. This is a sequel, and it seems fairly successful. Glad to see you all here. Glad to see familiar faces from all around the U.S. for some reason. Kind of crazy. So, yeah, this is ATProto PDX. This is Portland's ATProtocol meetup. And in case you don't know what you've stumbled into, which I'm sure is some people, actually it's a rising number last time, ATProtocol is a decentralized social networking protocol, essentially whose aim is to bring agency back to individuals and out of the hands of corporations who fight tooth and nail to protect your data. And if that sounds a little bit too technical or unapproachable to you, it's okay. The people in the room are friendly, and they will explain it in whatever terms you need. Or I will. You can ask me. So ATProto PDX is we're building this community because we want to help folks learn more about what ATProto is and help creators who are building ATProto apps connect with other people, connect with people who maybe might not know what's going on, and test out ideas, test out products, and generally learn as a community and look at what the needs are and then address them here in this meetup space. So whether you're a maker, a writer, a designer, an enthusiast, or whatever, there's a space here for you because, as we've seen with social networking, everybody is involved. It's not just the technical folks that become very in their head about it, that it's a world of software for software people, but for all sorts of folks. If you're a person, you're social, right? And you've probably used social media at this point. So we want to make social media a better place. And this is where we're meeting. And we want to build not just ATProtocol, but this meetup with you as well. So very quickly, we would like to go around, because this is by us, what we'd like to do is just go around and have each person introduce themselves, just give your name, your pronouns, and then keep it pretty short, the project you're working on, or if you don't have an active project, or if you're not even necessarily in this space yet or aware of this space, just talk about what your interest is. It could be interest in ATProto. It could be an interest in general. So I'll go first. I'm Graham Barber. My pronouns are he, him. And my project, well, I guess I'll talk about it later, is a thing called atmo.gifs for running raffles and giveaways on protocol. This will become relevant imminently. Pass on.
Hey, I'm Brittany Ellich, she, her, and I'm very interested. Oh, good. Yes, that's right. We have mics. I'm very interested in building communities, online communities on ATProto.
Hi everyone, I'm Kat. I also use she, her pronouns, and I am also interested in building communities on ATProto.
This is our conch shell. Okay. I'm Annie. I use she, her. My current project, I have a webcomic hosting platform, currently with about a little over 200 comics now, and I would really like to use ATProto for it if I can.
Hi, I'm Drake. He, him. Right now, I'm not really doing anything with ATProto specifically, but a current project I've been working on is trying to use Claude Code to make a web-based Age of Empires clone. So that's something I'm doing with my spare time.
Hi, I'm Scott Handley, he, him. My son and I are developing a private social network for your friends and family adjacent to the app protocol, so you can actually have both your public conversations and your private conversations in one application.
Hello, I'm Liz Argel, she, her. I've been doing a webcomic for many years. I'm also a technical writer, fresh from the Write the Docs conference. I'm also a change management consultant, business analyst, and support nonprofits. And I've been working with someone who has been working on a novel application of technology to create an authentication layer to ensure that people are able to create content that is human to human, and a way to filter out AI slop and stuff like that, or control how much AI content you have. And he's very keen to do this sort of stuff. So I was like, you need to talk to Blue Sky. And then I was like at the Write the Docs conference, and I was like, I think we need to talk to you guys as well. So very excited to be here, eager to learn.
Nice. Hello, my name is Kent Bai. I'm an oral historian and podcaster, and so I've been doing the Voices of VR podcast for 12 years, and I'm not doing anything actively with ATProto yet, but I went to the Decentralized Web Conference by archive.org and recorded a lot of oral history interviews back in 2018 and 2019, the DCamp Web Summit. And I just wrote a 121-page report for IFA Doc Lab looking at the future of location-based entertainment. And one of the things I was saying is that people are getting off the internet and wanting to be connected with their own sovereignty away from big tech. And so there's a lot of common themes there. And I'm also very interested in philosophy and consciousness and the future of epistemology through people reporting their own direct experiences, and how does that aggregate into a combination of subjective phenomenology with sort of objective information. So there's a lot of deeper philosophical things I'm more interested in. So people that are looking at the science stuff or how do you aggregate knowledge collectively is also I'm interested in. So thanks.
I'm Aaron DeVore, he, him. A little further away.
A little more. Yeah, that's great.
Aaron DeVore, he, him. I'm interested in the OpenMeet project, contributing to it. Not there with contributing yet.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Chuck. I use he, him. I like ATProto for social applications, of course. I'm on Blue Sky and enjoy it. But I am really interested in the upcoming work on permissioned spaces, because I love the idea of self-hosting my vertical slice of data while still getting like a normal SaaS experience on like non-social applications, just like general information systems. I think that's the most exciting sort of prospect with AT protocol, in my opinion. But we're not there yet.
Hi, my name is Darian, he, him, and I'm not doing anything with ATProto, but my current project, every 3 weeks when I remember it, is like a little program that just throws up transit ETAs for whatever station you pick out for a few metro systems. It was the only way I would let myself impulse buy an e-ink display, so that was important.
Sure. My name's Will Garrison. I have he, him pronouns, and no current main project right now. I chronically bounce between a few here and there, but looking at ATProtoifying a couple of my projects as I have been since I went to the conference a little over a month ago. Just don't have too much to update since then. But
those two have
no, we have. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Paisley, she, her, and I'm a creative writer and like a book and book publishing nerd.
Hey, I'm Ben, he, him. I used to study physics, still really interested in physics. Now I cook a lot.
Thanks,
It's
Ben.
related.
I'm Alex, he, him. I am Blue Sky DevRel, and I just happened to be in town for this event because I was speaking at Right the Docks about 10 blocks away 3 hours ago. So it's wonderful to see all the enthusiasm here, and I'm just happy to listen and learn from the local community. I primarily work on docs. I also do some, code patterns, workshops, exercises, and I want to know what y'all want to see more of. So thanks, everyone.
Hello, I'm Chris. I guess he or they are both fine. My current interest or project is I like cooking, and so I'm building like a kind of cooking application for well, it's a bunch of different things, but you can think of it like kind of like Git for cooking and making recipes and modifying them, that sort of thing.
Chad Miller, EM. I'm currently working on a project called Grain. It's just like a photo sharing app on ATProto, kind of like Instagram / Flickr-esque. But yeah, you should check out. There's some photographers here that are really talented. You should check them out on Grain. Yeah.
Hello. This is not working, by the way.
It's on the live stream.
Oh, this is. Oh, holy moly. Okay, sorry about that. I'm Tim. Tim, he, him. I am mainly here to eat pizza. I'm a photographer. Former life, I did a lot of software engineering, but now I'm just take pictures. And, I'm interested in this stuff, so I'm here to listen and see what people are doing.
Hey, my name's Eli Mallon, he, him. I made Streamplace. I'm founder and CEO of Streamplace. That is the short explanation is that the Blue Sky is using the AT protocol to make Twitter. We're using it to make Twitch. So social live streaming on the Atmosphere, looking to put creators in charge of their relationship with their audiences and not have, Amazon or Google sitting in the middle there. And yeah, if you're watching this on the live stream right now, I made that thing that you're looking at.
I'm Lindsay, she, her. I'm here in support of my husband Eli, who made Streamplace.
G'day, I'm Mike. I'm currently he, him. I am currently researching ATProto because I got dragged here with some other people, so I am mainlining hard.
I'm Zan at xan.lol. Any all pronouns, and currently working on whichsky.app, but I'm not well versed in React Native, so it recently got slowed down. I wonder if anyone here knows React Native better than me. That would be cool.
My name's Austin. Don't have specific pronouns. I work on Pantry Host with JP. I'll let him talk about that.
Yeah, JP, he, him. Current project is Pantry Host, which is using the recipe.exchange lexicon, and I'm currently interested in learning more about internationalization and talking with Josh of the recipe.exchange lexicon about rolling that in to support recipes in all different languages.
Hi, my name is V. I go by they, them. I go by Nundi on Blue Sky. I'm working on scientific authoring tools right now for like MIST, Markdown, and then like OXA, which is like a lexicon for like scientific stuff. Okay.
Hi, I'm Ariel. She, her pronouns. I am doing many things, too many things. I'm doing a whole PhD, but I am also doing stuff with AT Science, helped with the AT store. I'm probably forgetting other things. Yeah, so that's the short.
My name is Mac, they or he, and I'm mostly just obsessed with self-hosting. I come from a web dev background.
I'm Sebastian, he, him, and I'm mostly interested in the @science stuff, so data set annotation, hopefully one day peer review or publishing on protocol.
I'm Joe Spitz, he, him. I just finished up a contract, so I'm on a bit of like a tech breather. But I just learned about ATProto. It seems interesting. Thought I'd show up and learn something. The past week I've been doing beekeeping and some woodworking associated with that.
I'm John. I'm interested in like the Tangled stuff and CI/CD and all that, and I use he/him pronouns.
I'm Devin. I work on Grays, and I'm he/him.
Sorry, pizza.
I'm Jason Langsdorf. I go by he/him, and I just got off a plane to London, and my brain doesn't work yet, so.
Everybody say thank you to Jason for lending us the space. All right, now you enjoy your pizza in peace. Okay. Thank you guys so much. This is great because we want people to be familiar with each other, and there are so many projects happening and so many interests, and there are so many interesting intersections that we want to make sure those happen, and it can be kind of tough to when that doesn't, or like when you don't have everybody speaking in the room at the same volume, you know? Okay, so agenda. We're 30 minutes in. Actually, a little. Yeah, we got to speed this up. But anyways, yeah, we got introductions out of the way. So the main event today is we have a talk from Brittany here, which is going to be an introduction to the protocol. So for people who are a little bit less confident and don't know what's going on, I'll say it again. It's completely fine. You are welcome here. Brittany's going to have an introductory talk that should help clear things up, and if not, give you some really good questions to ask, which will be addressed in the breakout groups. So after we finish the presentation, we'll split off into sorts of discussion groups around a leader. So I'll lead one about Atmoda GIFs, because that is going to be relevant imminently. And then we'll come back together and just talk about what we learned, because there's lots of interesting conversations happening, and so we want to sort of bring them back to the whole group as a whole. Yeah, and then we're also drawing that raffle winner, because we are giving away one ticket to Cascadia JS, courtesy of Brittany, because she's giving a talk. Yeah, that's great. So if you don't know what Cascadia JS is, it's essentially it's a web summit. It's up in Seattle. It is going to be June 1st and 2nd, so unfortunately it will overlap with our next meeting, which will be June 2nd. But if you are interested in applying to win this, you can scan this QR code over here that is specifically not on the stream, because I want to make sure this is for people in the room. You can scan this QR code, and you sign in with your Atmosphere account, your ATProto account, and you can enter to win that ticket, and we will perform the drawing at the very end. And just to cover it, we've all introduced each other. We all know who everybody else is here, but we're adopting the code of conduct. I see Anuj in chat. I adopted this from Anuj. Anuj adopted this from AtmosphereConf. So just a few things. Be kind, inclusive, and considerate. Don't insult people or put people down. Act professionally. We have zero tolerance for. Well, it's on the screen, man. And don't be a bystander. So if you see those behaviors, you can let an organizer know. That's going to be me. That's going to be Brittany. That's going to be Kat. That's going to be Will. And if you can't let us know, you can send an email to that address on screen. Thanks, Anuj. All right. So with that, I'm going to toss it over to Brittany.
Great. Yes. All right. I need to switch out of this app and into the other one. And yeah, we have a good discussion going online too. If you want to watch the watch that or participate in chat online as well. Let's hope that this, let's see here. Move this.
It's up there.
Yeah, I just got to figure out what side it's on.
You got it. You got it.
Ah, there it is.
Okay.
There we go. All right. And make this go away, please. There we go. Okay, that wasn't that painful. Great. Welcome. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to see so many people here. I missed out on the last one. I had COVID from Atmosphere Conf, and I was really sad to get COVID and also to miss it. But now I am very likely COVID-free, given that I just had it, and happy to see you all. So this is great. I am going to be giving this talk at Cascadia JS, like was mentioned. So if you have any feedback, I would love that. That'd be great. And if you don't, that's also, I think, good to know. No feedback is also good feedback, I guess. But yeah, here's what we're going to talk about. First, we're going to go into how we got here, and here is sort of, the place that we're at right now with social media. Then I'm going to go into what ATProto is and how it works. It's simpler than you think. So if you are not familiar with it, then I think that you are hopefully going to walk away from this with like a pretty decent understanding. And then we're going to talk about exploring the atmosphere and what's out there already, highlighting some of the great work by a lot of folks in this room too, which is super cool. So here's where we're going to start. Let me know if this looks familiar to you at all. I know it's a little small. Apologies. But I want you to remember what it felt like when you first signed in to your first social media application. Not the version that we have now, which is a little bit removed from this. MySpace, if you remember, that was my first one. I was in high school, and it was the coolest thing ever. In 2003, it was the first social media app to actually get global reach. You could customize your page with HTML. I know a ton of software engineers that got their start in software engineering because they customized their MySpace page and learned HTML for that. Facebook in 2004 started initially just as a way to get to know folks on the Harvard University campus. YouTube in 2005 actually started as a dating site. I did not realize, but it did, and that didn't work out. But they put a lot of videos online. That was like their whole thing. It's like, oh, you can make a video of yourself and put it online. And not a lot of people wanted to do that for dating, but it turns out a lot of people wanted to do that in general. So that's how it got started. And then Twitter in 2006 started as a way to share what you're doing in 140 characters. That's it. Most of these started with the idea of wanting to connect humans on the internet, which is pretty cool. They weren't perfect, but they were built by people who were genuinely interested in wanting to connect the world. The people who built these companies, we might have different opinions of where things ended up, but they're not like the villains of the story with what we see now. It's the incentives behind how these apps grew over time. So this is what it looks like. Every legacy social media platform sort of follows this same arc. Not because the people that are running them are bad, but because this is how the businesses are typically incentivized. So they launch, a team's building something that's genuinely useful, that people are excited about. It solves a real problem, going after connection or expression or growth. This is the part that everybody remembers fondly when they're looking back at those applications. Then, the growth phase. Investors come in. The metric becomes engagement. They're starting to look at things like the time on site, the daily active users. How do you get more people on the platform and keep them there so that you can monetize? After that, monetization. Engagement turns into ads. Pretty much ubiquitously across all of those apps, they all turn to ads because it's the fastest, easiest way to get people to use the platform. However, now the customer is no longer the user, it is the advertisers. And that means that the apps are catering towards what the advertisers are trying to put on those applications. Then users become the product. And then finally, you get to the maximization, where Cory Doctorow has the word for this stage, which is also called enshittification. Platforms try to extract as much value as possible for investors without actually, investing in the people that are spending all of their time and putting their effort into building communities on these platforms. Social media platforms tend to use design to trap users, and there are a lot of really interesting patterns that have come out of the past 20 years of social media that have created what we have today. Some things like A/B testing, where every single red notification icon you see is perfectly calibrated. Every haptic buzz is tested to make sure that you are paying as much attention to that application as you possibly can. It's the same intermittent reinforcement schedule that they actually use to train pigeons as well. The pull to refresh, which is a gesture that you do in every social app, is basically a slot machine trying to. The person who invented infinite scroll, Azer Raskin, publicly said that they regret it because of the lifetimes of hundreds of thousands of human lifetimes lost each day to the infinite scroll. There are platforms, these platforms typically have entire teams designed to make it harder for you to put your phone down. Not because these people are villains, most of them have kids and a life and hobbies. Nobody's out there saying like, we need to make the most addictive app possible, but because they are incentivized to optimize for time on platform, because the more time you spend on the platform, the more ad money they get. And it works. The average person now spends 2.5 hours per day on social media, which is 38 days a year, which is over a month of your life every year scrolling. Think about the platforms that you love that aren't quite as good anymore. Not necessarily the ones that have died, we'll get to that next, but the ones that are still here and you don't necessarily recognize them anymore. Instagram was once a photo sharing app, and then it became a stories app, and now it's a Reels app, and sometimes they remember that they show people photos occasionally. Twitter used to have an actual character limit and a chronological feed, and now it's X, which is a completely different product than what it set out to be originally. Facebook used to be where you talk to your friends, but now your feed is mostly some suggested groups, some AI-generated images, and some ads. Most of the people you actually know stopped posting on Facebook years ago. None of these companies woke up one day to say, how do we make this the worst application possible? But a lot of them kind of ended up having that anyway. They optimized quarter by quarter, A/B by A/B test, to make these small decisions that increased revenue this week and created a worse application and experience overall. These early legacy social media platforms were designed to maximize profits, not necessarily to connect humans. And they're really, really hard to leave. If leaving were easy, none of this would matter. Nobody would be using it. They would just go and use something else. But it's really hard to leave once you've invested all of your time and built your connections within those applications. They don't have to be good because they don't have to compete for your time because you spend all of your time using them. Think about the platform you've been on the longest. Some of you, myself included, might still have a Facebook account around just to reach out to your closest friends from college or your cousins that aren't going to get off of that platform, or the parenting group that you found at 2 a.m. when your baby couldn't sleep. You might have one person that only reaches out to you on Messenger anymore, or the photos that your mom posts that she'd never figure out how to send another way, so you're still using a lot of those legacy platforms. It has things like events and marketplace listings, communities that people have spent years building, but they have no way to get away and bring other people with them. You can't really just move to a new platform. You can sign up somewhere else, but getting all of the humans and connections and content and data to move with you is an impossible task. Many people have tried it. Not to mention, some of these platforms just don't survive. Some of the platforms can die without you, even if you've spent all of your time and effort staying on them. Google Plus shut down in 2019, and if you build a community on there, it's just gone now. You have no recourse because all of the data and everything that you put into that was a part of that platform, and that relationship just ended when they decided to close the platform. This is a deal we've all sort of been making and not realizing that there was another way to operate until some very smart people put together ATProto, which is what we're actually here to talk about. Sorry about the depressing beginning. So how do we address that? With that in mind, I want to introduce you to ATProto. The Authenticated Transfer Protocol is an open social protocol where you, as the user, own your own data. It means that the data that you put on the internet can live in your own repository, which we'll get into. And it does for social data what open source did for code. It moves your posts and your likes and your follows out of a company-owned database where you can't necessarily get it out and puts it on the open web where they belong to you, which makes it really easy to leave. And that completely changes the entire incentive structure behind these social media apps. And honestly, if you walk away from here just knowing that, like, that's most of it. That's most of what is involved here. Is created so that leaving a social app no longer means leaving behind everything you've poured into it. But now we're actually going to talk about how it works in practice. So each user gets their own repo where all of their data is stored. That user has a DID, or a decentralized identifier, which looks like that gibberish down at the bottom of the screen. And that follows the user around and is a way for all of the different servers to say, this is the identity of this individual. Because that's not super easy to share with somebody else, they also all have a handle. And those handles are just DNS records, like a website. Those are already all unique. They have to be for the web to work. And so those are also used as your handle here. So my handle, for example, is BrittanyEllich.com. And I use that handle across the entire atmosphere. You can do, whatever DNS that you have access to. If you have 1 or 2 or maybe 14 DNS records that you might have access to, they all work. And you can assign a handle to your application. So you have a repo, and what lives inside of it? That repo has records, which is just a piece of structured data. If you are technical and spend a lot of time writing software, it's using JSON. And if you're not familiar with what that is, that's fine. It's a key and a value store, where a key is a post and the value is the text. So all of your posts, likes, your profile itself is stored as JSON in this repository, basically just a folder on the internet that only you can add things to. The blob is, I have no idea where that name came from, but it is a term for binary things, like an image or a video, some sort of a file that you want to have access to. So in your repo, you have records and you have blobs. And then you also have a lexicon is the last thing to think about, which I think is something that's also talked about a lot in ATProto. The lexicon is a schema that defines what is inside of a record so that you can reuse records across different apps. So I'm going to show you some examples of what that actually looks like. If you are interested in building anything on ATProto, I highly recommend you check out pdsls.dev. I apologize for how tiny that is. I have a QR code at the end of this with all of the slides if you want all the links. But this is what my repo looks like. You can see that's BrittanyEllich.com, and you can go to pdsls.dev and look up any handle or DID to see what their repo has. I'm assuming that that's going to change once permissioned data does exist, and that will be a little bit different. But for now, all of the public data is there. We can go to all of my Blue Sky posts. So this is under the lexicon here as Blue Sky feed post, and they're all listed there. If I click on a single post, we have the post that I put up yesterday, Let's Hang Out Tomorrow at ATProto PDX. And that is what it looks like. We have the text, we have an embed there, and this is the actual record. This is all it is, and anybody can go online and take a look at this. And then finally, this is it rendered on Blue Sky. So it really is just a file that lives in a folder that has all of these things in it. And that means that any application can then go and read any of these files and render them however they want, which actually turns out to be really cool. A blob, just another example. So I have an example of a blob in my repo, which is an image here, which is referenced as a blob within Blue Sky as an actual just reference. It just renders the thing that is living in my repository. And then finally, that example of a lexicon. We have the post here that we saw earlier, and you can actually find all of the lexicons if they are properly set up here under schema, and be able to check out what the schema is. So you can see here we have tags defined, we have the text defined as required. All of these are really helpful if you're building an app to know what to expect when you get a record back from there. So that is what the lexicon is for. So if an app is doing something you don't like, you can just leave. You can take all of that data that lives in that repo and you can have it render in any other app that is on in the atmosphere. Remember that Facebook island that was that lonely boat where with all the friends and family you left behind? This is sort of what the atmosphere looks like. Every island here is a different app. Blue Sky, Grain, Tangled, Streamplace, Leaflet. We'll get into a few other ones later on. And between the islands, there's bridges, and there's boats, and there's stepping stones, and there's ways that you can connect them in really fun and creative ways that say, this is my identity, and I can own this across every single one of these apps and represent it the way that I want to. That's the whole point of the protocol. Your content, your data, and your people go with you wherever you go, and it's pretty easy to build on. A few more engineering details, and feel free to ignore this if it seems not relevant to you, but just in case you are interested. So we have a couple of other terms that I think are useful to know. One of them is personal data server. That might be something you see online talked about a lot. PDS, so that is a hard drive, essentially, that stores a bunch of repos. And so if you've signed up on Blue Sky, then your repo, if you're wondering where that lives in the world, probably lives on one of the Blue Sky PDSs. But you can take that repo and move it to any PDS you'd like. There's a lot of other options out there. And one really cool tool that was built by the community, by Bailey Townsend, PDS Mover, helps you just do exactly that. Move that to whichever spot you want. If you want your data to be served in Europe, that is totally a possibility. Maybe less relevant here in Portland, but you never know. If you want to go abroad, then that might be relevant. Relays are pipelines that move data around and that apps can subscribe to show them. There's a really cool set of tools, open source tools called Microcosm, which might be worth looking into if you're curious how relays work. And then app views is another way of saying the application that just shows ATProto data. So for example, Blue Sky is an app view. Streamplace is an app view. I'm sure there is more technical reasons why some things are app views and some things are considered more infrastructure, which aren't super relevant right now. Most of the apps that are consumer facing that you can log into with your identity and your repo are called app views. So this is sort of the mental model that helped me with this. So the PDS is where your data lives. The relay is how the data travels. And then the app view is how the data is actually experienced. And finally, let's talk about some of those things that exist out there in the atmosphere already. Recently released at store.fyi, Ariel, thank you for making this. Yeah. Yeah, this is a really great spot to start if you have, I think it was just recently released like last week, but it's a great place to start for exploring the atmosphere. There are a ton of apps that are listed on there. So one that you might be familiar with already, there's Blue Sky. It's the microblogging app that started this whole ecosystem, and quite a few of the folks that work there work specifically on the protocol. This is social media, in my opinion, as it should be. It's a nice way to experience social media that if one day I decide that I don't like the direction that Blue Sky is going, I can just take all of my posts and leave. But this is just one app view, and it's not the entire atmosphere. Black Sky is another really awesome example of why this protocol matters. It's a decentralized social media built for community power, culture, and collective freedom. And it's a community of Black users on ATProto. They don't just have their own client, they run their own relay, their own moderation layer, their own algorithms, and the entire infrastructure stack, which they were able to essentially pull from what already existed on ATProto, which is incredibly cool. On a centralized platform, when a community is failed by their moderation, like a lot of Black users, like every single major social media platform that has been around for years, there's no real recourse. You can post about it, but you can't necessarily do anything. But on ATProto, they were able to leave and start their own social media, to run it the way that they wanted to see it. And Rudy Frazier and the Black Sky team are doing some of the most important work in this ecosystem, in my opinion. Eurosky is exactly what it sounds like. It's the atmosphere, but make it European. There is mostly a set of PDSs as well. I think think they have their own app view, but they're all hosted in the EU. That means that their moderation is under European data protection. And it's a great example of regional infrastructure, I think, that can exist because the protocol is so open and you can just do things. You can just go there and start your own and migrate all of your users to it. Nobody had to ask Blue Sky's permission to do it. They didn't need to. They were just able to fork it and do what they wanted with it. Grain, social. Photo first social app. You can post galleries, 24-hour stories, browse by following, or what's really fun, you can browse by camera type or by location. So if you missed the version of Instagram that was all about photos, this is a really great place to go. Streamplace, that's what we're using to stream this right now. Live streaming video first on ATProto. It's a different vertical entirely, but it still uses the same underlying identity and data that is used for all of the rest of ATProto. And it works really well. Like, I'm really impressed, honestly. It works really well. It's a hard problem to solve, I feel like, in engineering. Not that I'm trying to suck up or anything, but... RPG.actor, this is really fun, and I think this just came about since the conference where it was announced. But you can create your own role-playing character for tabletop games or other games. You get your own stats, inventory, and backstory, and that character lives in your PDS, which is really cool. It lives in your repo. And because it's all open, you can build on that however you would like. So for example, we actually did build on that, and anybody who scans the special QR code that I'll show later here that would like one can get a Timbers Army scarf for their RPG actor found in Providence Park, theoretically. We designed this specifically for this meetup, so yeah, we'll get that QR code up in a bit. Just a couple more. Anisoda, it's a more peaceful social media. It actually uses the same underlying data as Blue Sky, and it's a Blue Sky client, but posts appear as cards that you can flip through. And when you run out of stamina, you have a little stamina meter in the top left, you're done scrolling, which is actually kind of helpful. There's no infinite feed, no pull to refresh. It's just an app that is really made and designed to bring a more peaceful social media experience. Beacon Bits is sort of like Foursquare. You can check in at places, see where your people are. There is some folks in the Portland community using this. We should all just check in here, actually, while we're here. I don't know if this is even an official place on the map, but it should be. Yeah, so we can check in here while we're here.
You can make them.
Yes. Okay, great. Grays, we have Devin here who works on that. You can build your own custom social media feeds. So if for some reason you're really into like nerdy crocheting for, you know, reasons that may or may not exist, you can have your own feed just of that, and I will be heavily featured in it. Or just Pacific Northwest hiking, or whatever it is that gets you happy, that you want to see every day, you can create your own feed within Grays and see it. You can also own your own algorithm and have your own audience to keep the own revenue within those feeds, which is incredibly cool. Offprint was the last one I'll show off. I'm a really big fan of this. It's sort of like Medium or Substack, but cooler. This is what I use for my own writing now. It's long form publishing, and if for some reason Offprint decides to start doing things that I don't like, you know, Substack may or may not be doing, I can take my readers and my content and go somewhere else and not lose anything in the process, which is really cool. So I highly recommend checking this out. At the time of this screenshot, there were 391 apps listed on the App Store, which is a lot. There's a lot of people building on this, which is super, super cool. I showed you 9, and there were hundreds that I don't have time for. But every single one of them shares the same identity layer. A lot of them even share the same follow graph, so you can take the people that you follow to each app that you go to. Same data. And if I sign up for a new ATProto app tomorrow with my identity, the people that I am familiar with in the ecosystem are already there. And I don't have to rebuild that from scratch, which is awesome. My identity's there, my history's there. It's incredibly cool. It's what open social looks like when it actually works. And your ideas can also be on there. I highly encourage you, if you are not yet excited about building something on ATProto, you should. That's, I think everybody here is that is familiar with it is more than happy to help. Or if you have ideas and you've heard somebody mention something earlier that you're super excited about, most of these projects are open source. So this is the time to get into it. Build it, show me what you make, and I can't wait to see what I can show on the slide a year from now. So thank you. The slides are on that QR code. My handle is brittanyellich.com. And let's explore the atmosphere together. $25? Oh my gosh, right on the dot.
All right. Yeah, thank you again, Brittany, for that. That talk was great. The chat loved it. I think you guys loved it too. All right. Let me fix my slides.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't. I think I got it. No. Because yours is still open?
Yeah, it's in a browser window, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Close. Promise I work with computers regularly. And
All right, sweet. So, if you have any questions about that talk, now we're going to talk about them, but not as a big group initially here. So the way that we ran the last meetup that was pretty popular is we had a handful of people talk about or volunteer to run a little discussion group and just chat about something in particular from the atmosphere or about life or whatever you want really that folks were interested in. So hence one of those groups will be feedback and questions for Brittany. If you haven't scanned the QR code yet, I know just Tim has. I'm a winner. Tim needs some competition, so I know there was some interest last time about having like a discussion about the structure of an actual app running on the atmosphere. I can do that. It's a little roughshod, but it exists. However, we have developers of like real serious applications here. So they might be helpful with that as well. Is there anybody else that, I know we put this in the open meet, but I don't know how many folks read it, who came with something that they wanted to have a discussion about specifically? Eli?
Yeah, I have something to show actually.
Physical object. Oh, is this?
Okay, so. Okay, so some people may know that Streamplace's logo is a pink cube, and there's a lot of stories behind why that is, which has to do with me making a placeholder logo before we had the real logo and then starting to kind of like the placeholder logo. But it also has something to do with, I think to make the atmosphere intelligible to people, it's going to be helpful to be able to point to something physical and tangible. Even when you talk about a PDS, it's like, it's in the cloud somewhere or in one of those data centers we all hate. This is a prototype. It's the wrong color. I ordered the wrong, I'm new to 3D printing. I downloaded, I bought the wrong filament to finish it out. This is not quite the right shade of pink. But something we want to make, maybe sell eventually, is pink streaming cubes that are your ATProto PDS. It sits there on your desk, and you don't need to wonder, do I own my data? Does some corporation own my data? You know, because it's there, right there. All of your data lives in here. And some magic to upload that to the cloud. And we're Streamplace, so it's going to have like HDMI. It's like, oh, I want to stream my Nintendo Switch, and you just like plug it in, and then it's like streaming, and you don't have to worry about the technical details or anything like that. So so I don't know. I just brought this because it's something I'm enthusiastic about. The broader topic would be like, what kind of hardware stuff we could do, or like real world 3D printed stuff that we could relate back into the atmosphere. So, yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, Eli. Great. Okay, so we got a hardware discussion. That's great. That's novel. I love that. Anybody else have any ideas?
So on that vein, I'm really curious about doing like offline to online sync
Ah, hot topic.
What happens when this thing reconnects to the network, or like what's its public, resolvable subscribe repo or something like that?
Yeah.
Anybody has insights into that?
Yeah. So like backfill.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know that's a big question that a lot of people have, which is like, if my server, like atmo.gifs is hosted on Fly. Sorry, I pointed at you immediately. It's hosted on Fly. It turns off and then it turns back on. But it's using a utility called tap that does that backfill algorithm. It doesn't really matter because it uses its own lexicon and everything is made through itself, so it knows of everything. But this is a big problem for shared lexicons across app views. So that isn't just plastic sounds. Eli, do you want me to? I can print a bigger one too if you want.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, they're still figuring it all out.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we got some discussions there. We've got sort of that fill infrastructure thing discussion. We've got hardware. We've got the raffle platform and sort of building that in a week. And we've got Brittany's talk. So.
Oh, there's people that were here that were in the science community. I'm wondering if there's someone.
Yes,
that would like
science
to
people. Ariel, can I? I'll put Nadia and Ariel in charge of that. Great, science people.
The nerds are going to congregate anyway.
I know. It's Seb and Nadia ended up. I know. It just happens every time. Great. Okay, so again, if you haven't scanned for the raffle, there's still some pizza left. A little bit of pizza left. And I think with that, we will break into discussion groups and then come back at 7:25 to discuss what we talked about. So
Great.
Let's break. Thank you.
I'm going to end the stream
Okay.
now because I don't think anybody's going to want to listen to the
Bye-bye,
cacophony.
stream.
Bye, stream. Thank you all for joining us.